Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Dr. Wallach on Wednesday with here on the Zoom and conference call. We thank you so much for joining us, and we are pleased and honored to have Dr. Wallach here with us. And from north, south, east, and west, we've invited people to come and hear your wisdom and knowledge, and we're just so grateful for everything that you've done for all the people and animals and mammals and everything. And we can't tell you how grateful we are. So without further ado, Dr. Wallach, the call is yours.
Okay. There we go. Okay, now we're on. Okay. So you just go ahead, start, or
yes, sir. The call is. Thank you, Dr. Wallach, for joining us and giving us some pearls of wisdom here on our Wednesday night call with you.
Okay. Yeah, we'll start out with some pearls of wisdom. And thank you, Becca, for setting everything up. You know, we have to keep moving from one room to the next because of construction and stuff. Anyway, it's flu season. There's thousands of fatalities here in the last couple of months in the United States because of the flu virus, the RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, and also the COVID virus. Those three viruses are causing havoc with us and causing, I'm quoting now, the government, thousands of fatalities in the last couple of months here. So I want everybody to take their 90 essential nutrients, preferentially the heavy duty if it's not a financial issue, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, the MSM to help the bone marrow make white blood cells and antibodies, because the bone marrow is your immune system. And then I also would like the collagen peptides also again for the bone marrow. Scoop with that with a morning drink, scoop with that with the evening drink. Don't forget the vitamin D3 to be able to absorb this stuff and put it all in the right places. And then don't forget the colloidal silver. Colloidal silver was our antibiotic for thousands of years until penicillin came along in 1936, something like that. And the colloidal silver, you should put 2 droppers full under your tongue 3 minutes for each meal, 3 minutes for bedtime, 3 minutes after you wake up. And it's the kids, put a few drops under their tongue. For little kids, the colloidal silver, it's non-inflammatory, there's no alcohol in it, and it's been used for thousands of years, still used in many third world countries. Then don't forget our hand sanitizer. This one, you don't want to put on open wounds because it does have alcohol in it, but you can use it. I put like maybe 5 drops on each hand, rub them together, rub the fingers, the thumbs, the palms, the back of the hands and everything, make sure. And then I also put a few drops in my cap, okay, because you never know, somebody's gonna run up and pull your cap off and give you a kiss on top of your head or something, you never know. And so you want to make sure you're covering yourself. Everything's fine. Then you want to keep your immune system fit. And of course, that's where the 90 essential nutrients comes in. And then of course, you have to give also for energy, I want you to use as the sign before we came on here, posted. There's a new bull in town. We want you to use our Rebound sports drink. It has 100 nutrients in it, 75 minerals and 25 vitamins and amino acids. It comes in a canister, 36 servings in the canister, okay? A little scoop in there. And then we have the sticks. There's 30 of these sticks in a box. So there's 30 servings in the box. And then we have 12 ounce cans in a case, okay? And it's the same formula as the canister and the sticks, except I
how do I get that on my phone?
Oh, somebody's talking.
I'm downloading the app for just a moment.
Oh, okay.
Mute them out. Okay. And so what I do is I pop the tops, open them up a little bit, put them 2 in the refrigerator at night before I go to bed. So all the bubbly is gone by morning. I have 1 with breakfast and 1 with either lunch or a couple hours after lunch. Okay. And get my 100 nutrients, support the immune system. Now, this is something everybody needs to do on a, what they say, regular basis. I've been doing it for 75 years. Hello. Okay. And let's look at some statistics. I've said these before, but it's always good to repeat these sorts of things. Let's see here. The life expectancy, okay, of professional athletes in America ranges from 53 to 59, depending on what sports they're playing in. When you add them together and do the math, it's 56.7. This is the life expectancy for professional sports, all sports. Let's see here. And then we have professional athletes under the age of 25. 2,000 die each year in America alone from sudden heart death, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease. It's the same thing that causes SIDS, death syndrome. Just a simple deficiency of a single nutrient. Everybody says, which one is it? Which one is it? Well, you should tell people which one it was. And then they just go by that one nutrient and then they would die because they didn't have the other 89. And so you have to appreciate, you have to take all 90 and take extra certain things. And that's why we came out with these secret sauces. You know, we have programs for 600 different diseases. We have 5,000 products to pull this off. Okay. Dr. Milan and I, we did 1,200 autopsies on kids under the age of 10 in Heilongjiang province, Qishan University in China. It was published in 3 languages, Mandarin, Cantonese, and English. And for that, I got the Klaus Schwartz Award in 2011. And then I got the United Nations Lifetime Achievement Award, which only 5 people have gotten it so far. I'm one of the 5 paid for dealing with the same issue. Okay, sudden death syndrome. Okay, cardiomyopathy heart disease. And also I got rid of, let's see here, the muscular dystrophy, gave the information to Gary Lewis. He was excited. He took it to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. They summarily terminated him after 44, 46 years, whatever it is. He had raised $2.5 billion for them. They fired him. Okay, the Muscular Dystrophy Association, and then of course, it's just a terrible story. Okay, but anyway, it all came good when we came out with our drinks and everything, and the information got out there, and so now we have gotten rid of 3 major childhood diseases: cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, and sudden death syndrome. Billionaires, their life expectancy is 66 years. They can afford the best doctors and best medications, and yet their life expectancy is 66 years. It's interesting, they live 10 years longer than professional athletes. Okay, then we have, let's see here, emergency room doctors, their life expectancy is 58.7. And Bruce Lee died at 32, 49 years ago. Okay, he died in 1973 at 32 years of age. And they said a couple of weeks ago that he died of drinking too much water. They didn't have a cause of death for those 49 years, but they came out and said he died because he drank too much water. That's nonsense. So I'm in the process of trying to get the slides from his autopsy, all the tissue slides, all the biochemistry, all the descriptions of organs and things. And I'll tell you what he died from, but he didn't die from drinking too much water, I'll tell you that. Okay. Then we have a new tool. You saw the cover of it with that picture of me behind the desk. There's a new bull in town is the title of these 3 CDs. Dead Athletes Don't Lie. It's a CD where I talk about professional athletes, Olympic athletes, university athletes. They picked, I don't know, about 5 of them that died in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. Okay. Why'd that happen? These are top athletes. Well, that's because they weren't getting all the right stuff, and you'll see in a moment. The second CD in the set is Exercise Without Supplementation of Suicide. It's got a bigger yield. Okay, it has professional and Olympic athletes, but also has very wealthy people, owners of big companies and academics and so forth dying in their 30s, 40s, and 50s from the same thing, nutritional deficiencies. And then what kills billionaires? Again, they can afford the best food, the best doctors, the best of everything, and yet their life expectancy is 66 in the United States. That's because they're missing the nutrients. And so the CD set, there's a new bull in town. You go to www.drjwallach.com, www.drjwallach.com, and get the set. Now, quickly, Rebound is a great story. Red Bull came out in 1987. It was an Austrian guy who created it, and he created it because 2 years earlier, in 1985, Coca-Cola Corporation created an energy drink called Monster. Okay, and so this guy in Austria who died 2 months ago now at age 78, and he became a billionaire selling Red Bull. He manufactured one of the co-founders of Red Bull. Okay, and he died at 78, and he claimed he drank 10 cans of Red Bull a day from the 1920s until he died. Okay, then 2001, Pepsi Cola came out with a energy drink / sports drink, Rockstar. And then, of course, Rebound as Youngevity came out in 2011. Let's have a quick look here. Okay, we're going to have a quick look. And let's look at comparing Rebound with Red Bull and Rockstar. Rebound has 28 milligrams per serving of sodium, which is half of the sodium chloride molecule, which is salt. Red Bull has 140 milligrams of sodium per serving. Rockstar has 40 milligrams. Sugar, Rebound has 24 grams per serving. Red Bull has 38 grams, 31 grams of sugar in Rockstar. Now, this is the one that freaks me out. Rebound, we have 75 minerals, as I've said a million times. We have 75 minerals in Rebound, okay? The plant-derived colloidal minerals. Red Bull has one. Red Bull has one. And Rockstar has one. They have 75 times more minerals than Red Bull and Rockstar. They only have Red Bull and Rockstar have magnesium. Why? Because, that's the one that Bruce Lee liked. I'm sure he had muscle cramps. He was taking magnesium to stop the muscle cramps. Let's see here. Our Rebound has 12 vitamins per serving. Red Bull has 4, and Rockstar has 5. When it comes to caffeine, Rockstar has 80 milligrams per serving. Red Bull has 114 milligrams per serving. And Rebound, we don't have, we have ours from green tea, and it's 40 to 50 milligrams per serving. Okay. And so you take your choice. Okay. It's one of those things that you have to appreciate. You have to appreciate that you have to take these nutrients. You can't just eat well and get the nutrients. Okay, you have to take the nutrients consciously, proactively, and you can add 25 to 50 healthful years to your life. Okay, with this, I'm going to go back to Dave and Pam. Over to you.
Hello. Pam.
Okay. I said, go ahead. Okay, anybody have any questions here? I'd like to see no hands up. Okay, so I would like to just to expand a little bit more, Doc. Some people might think that exercise is okay, and if they don't supplement with the minerals, then what do they need to know? That these things just don't work without minerals, right?
Well, that's true. And of course, remember, exercise without some limitation is suicide. That's why that CD is so important for people to listen to that CD. It's I just get breathless when I listen to them all again. Those CDs are a couple of years old, but I listened to them again about 2 weeks ago, and I'm just breathless because that information is so absolutely essential for people to know why you need to consciously, proactively put these nutrients into your mouth. Okay, you can't just eat well and assume they're in there. Now, back before 1882, when Thomas Edison pulled a switch on electricity, we've been using wood and coal as fuel for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. We took the wood ashes and the coal ashes and put them in our gardens. And of course, all the vegetables and berries and fruit and everything would suck up all these minerals that were in the wood ashes and the coal ashes that the trees had sucked up, okay, out of the ground. And then you'd eat the berries and the fruit and vegetable, and you get the minerals. And grandma would take wood ashes out of the wood stove and put them in your food as a spice, and we get minerals that way. Well, once we went to electricity, there's no more wood ashes. People were just, drinking juice. People were just eating stuff out of the garden, and the commercial fertilizers are only NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Okay, and so plants only need 3 minerals to give the farmer the maximum yield. And that's how they get paid, by maximum yields. Okay, and they're not going to put 75 to 100 nutrients in the garden for you. You got to take that. And so that's why we have our program. And of course, we have our Rebound, which has 100 nutrients in it, 75 minerals and 25 vitamins and amino acids. And here's one that's very important. The kids' formulas, Infamil, Similac, we sued the FDA 9 times in federal court to get these minerals put into the baby formulas. Doctors saying, don't put minerals in the baby formulas because it'll kill the baby. So we won in federal court, and we eliminated, let's see here, cystic fibrosis, supposed to be a terrible birth defect. We eliminated that. We eliminated muscular dystrophy, supposed to be a terrible, terrible birth defect. We eliminated sudden death syndrome, okay, just by putting these nutrients into baby formulas, because we won in federal court. Okay, now we have what we call kids toddy. A kids toddy is a infant formula, okay, like Infamil and Similac and those kind of things. But they're having difficulties in making Similac and Infamil because they can't get the ingredients, and the employees have quit and all that kind of stuff. So it's a big mess. And so we have this, and a minimum of 1 meal a day should be our kids' toddy. They can also take our Cherrymins using the same dosage level. Don't forget the EFAs and EFA pluses for body weight, so they don't get blood clots. And we can save these babies. A lot of these babies are ones that are dying of the flu. They're dying of this virus. They're dying of COVID because they don't get enough nutrition for their immune system to work to defend them. So all this stuff is all mishmashed up because of all the things going on. And so we have to be proactive and make sure that everybody gets the information to know that they have to proactively take these nutrients. You just can't get enough by eating well. I don't care if you spend $15 a pound for lamb chop you need, okay? Okay, and so this is one of those things we have to pay attention to. One other thing I'll throw in there is a little set, The Truth About Nutrition. It's a book, a CD and a DVD, okay? It's actually person, okay? The process of the skull, and then it's in a CD and a book. It's on your head, and of course, dead doctors don't lie. That's one of my favorites. Dead doctors don't lie. The only time a doctor won't lie is when he's dead or when she's dead. Okay, so over to you now.
Okay, and so basically, if you don't take the minerals, none of the vitamins, none of the food, the amino acids, and your essential fatty acids are going to work unless you have that baseline 60 minerals. Is that correct? Okay. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's just like, why do I have kidney stones? I'm taking calcium. So can you explain why would someone have kidney stones? And then we'll go over to Karen for a question.
Well, kidney stones are caused by deficiencies. What happens is when you're deficient in things, including vitamin D3 and calcium and that kind of stuff, and your bones and your immune system and your white blood cells, your red blood cells, your parathyroid glands will pull calcium out of your bones to put calcium into the bloodstream. Well, they tend to overreact and they keep putting too much calcium into your bloodstream when you're calcium deficient, but they're stealing the calcium out of your bones. And the calcium in your urinary bladder or your kidneys, where you get kidney stones, is from a calcium deficiency. You need more calcium, not less.
Okay. Did it kind of mute there for a minute, or are you still there?
On here, but you were mute for a few seconds.
Okay. All right. Well, and so that very basically, I explained that to someone earlier today because I was at work one time. I couldn't even move. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I couldn't walk. And I felt like I was going to vomit. And I went to the hospital there at work. And he said, well, you have to go to the hospital. I went to the emergency and my organs were actually shutting down. And it was because I did not have the right type of calcium, I believe. I wasn't getting the proper type, and it was doing exactly what you said. So until I got onto, these products and I was able to turn that whole, kidney issue around and, all the other things that happened, things started working better for me. And I wanted to turn the call over to Karen. Thank you, Dr. Wallace. Karen, if you can unmute yourself, go right ahead. Thanks.
Hello, thank you. Hi, Dr. Wallach. I was wondering what your thoughts on oil pulling with coconut oil. Have you heard of that?
No, but I can understand, where hippies are coming from. And so, yeah, I'm not big on that. Okay, what you want to do is make sure you're getting all your essential fatty acids.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be using oils like that for disrupting metabolic processes. Okay. If you want to do something to lose weight, were they doing that to lose weight?
No. For teeth, for the teeth.
For teeth, were their teeth loose?
I'm sorry.
Were their teeth loose?
No. I just heard it was good for the teeth to do oil pulling.
Okay, well, I'll have to look that one up. I've never heard of that one, but it sounds kooky to me.
Okay.
I'll put that in the kooky box.
Okay. Thank you.
The only oil pulling I like is to go buy myself some oil wells and pull the oil and sell it.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, Dr. Wallach, thank you, Karen, for that. I do remember asking Ben Fuchs about that because I know that you're not into, having the coconut oil. And Dr. Glidden had also said, he agreed with you. But when we talked to, I believe it was Ben Fuchs mentioned this, that you can use, like a teaspoon of coconut oil, put it in your mouth and swish it around and spit it into a garbage can. And that would pull out, gunk and excess stuff in the mouth. So that's where I've heard that and I've expressed that myself. So we don't eat or ingest any coconut oils. We don't like, even when it's, in bags of stuff, we put it back on the shelf. And that's the only time we use the coconut oil now is for pulling, like stuff out of our teeth.
Okay, well, it's potentially dangerous because, oils can cause problems.
Correct. That's what
They oxidize, they turn old, they oxidize, they turn into trans fats, means, and cause cancer.
Mm-hmm. And prior to finding out about you and listening to what you said, I had big brown blotchy spots all over my arms and, on other areas. And I didn't know that, liver spots were oxidation showing up on the outside of the body. And until, how many years it's been, detoxifying from all of the bad foods and all the prescription drugs that I was on, that skin is now normal color. so I appreciate.
Yeah, if you're on the beach and you want to pull a coconut off the tree and crack it and eat some coconut meat, that's fine. But don't be taking coconut oil separately and just doing things with it, because who knows how long it's been out of the coconut. It's been out of the coconut 30 seconds, 3 hours, 3 days, 3 months, 3 years.
Good point. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Okay, I think we have Laura Scrooby. Go ahead.
Hello. Laura Scrooby.
Go ahead and unmute.
Sorry about that. Sorry. All right. Thank you, Pam. So I have a customer who has a question about, has difficulty salivating, has a dry mouth. So what do you recommend for that? The customer is using the 90 nutrients, but they have trouble. They basically every once in a while, they want to do this hormonal test or, saliva test that requires saliva, and they need to basically produce saliva first thing in the morning, and they have a very dry mouth and they don't know what to do. So I was wondering if you knew anything about that, what they can do to help.
Yeah, well, Laura, you have to appreciate that saliva is produced by the saliva glands, right? Salivary glands. Now, where do the nerves come from to tell the salivary glands what to do?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Where do the nerves come from to tell the salivary glands what to do?
Right, the brain.
Okay. The brain, the spinal cord, all that kind of stuff, right? And so if there's a problem in communications and the mouth is dry, they might have osteoporosis of the skull. That's one of the symptoms of osteoporosis of the skull is dry mouth.
Oh.
Yeah, how old this person is?
In 40s.
Or yeah, well, they could have osteoporosis of the skull. Okay. And so they need to get on the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, get on the MSM, get on the collagen peptide, vitamin D3. I would also throw in the synaptive and eat 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. Get that white matter of the brain working, okay, which is 25% of the brain weight is cholesterol.
Yeah.
25% of the spinal cord weight is cholesterol.
Yeah.
And when people follow the doctor's directions and they give up eggs and they give up meat, fat, and that sort of stuff, the part of the brain that tells the salivary glands what to do begins to shrink, okay? And the spinal cord begins to shrink. And you start going to all these different specialists and doctors for the symptoms, when really all you have to do is eat right and supplement correctly, rebuild your brain and your spinal cord, and everything comes right in a couple of weeks.
Okay, very good. That's a perfect answer. Thank you. I will pass that on. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
That's the perfect gift to give everybody, I think, this year. All in your head. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Anybody else have any last questions here? Go ahead and ask them right now.
Yeah, we've got time for one more. Okay, if nobody wants to ask a question, I'll kind of finish it up if I may, and remind everybody, one of the best presents you can give people is knowledge. It's going to add 25 to 50 healthy years to their life. Get them a month's supply of the 90 essential nutrients. Get them the book set, book CD, DVD set, The Truth About Nutrition. Get them the set of the book and the CD. It's all in your head. And get them the Rebound, okay? And if they have a pet, if they have a dog or a cat or a rabbit or something like that, or a crow or a parrot, don't forget the Arthrodex, 1 scoop for 20 pounds of body weight for their pet. There's all kinds of stuff you can do to help people have a better life, but coconut oil is not one of them. Okay,
Sounds good to me. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. You're awesome. Thank you for rebounding with us. And we're so glad that you are the bull in town.
well, you're all very sweet. Thank you very much. God bless you. Keep up the great work. We have lots of people to save, not only in the United States, but the world. And we got to work hard because there's so much misinformation out there. There's so many people going all in the wrong direction, and they're paying a price. Just, think of those average lifespans we just talked about. Professional athletes, 56, you got to be kidding me. Billionaires, 66. Emergency room doctors, 58.7. Hello. God bless everybody.
Thanks, Doc. Thank you.
Thanks, Doc.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
See you next week.
Bye.
Ole.
Bye, everyone. See you next week.
Have a good night and a better tomorrow.
You too.